one of the Jewish people's 3 holiest sites lay in ruins. Until one man, together with the grace of a rabbi, did something about it.
Today is April 17th, 2018. I am Steven Schlussel, and along with my wife, my mother, my sisters, and my entire family, we are dedicating a new section for Jewish learning on Mount Zion, next to King David's tomb, in honor of the 50th anniversary of the passing of our father, Shmuel Chaim. I say a new section since this is the 4th public dedication of finishing major projects that I started here over the last 13 years. I was introduced to Mount Zion's tremendous head rabbi, Rav Yitzchak Goldstein, by Abba and Pamela Klayman to help create for their charity Todat Sahal, temporary housing for soldiers near the old city of Jerusalem. From my first visit here, something struck me deep inside. Maybe it was the opportunity to build that I knew from my real estate construction background. Maybe it was being a direct descendant of King David. Maybe it was the opportunity to help rejuvenate and do good. Whatever it was, I went forward in earnest. Kadima.
Today we mark the 50th anniversary of the passing of Sam Schlussel.
Our father was born May 4th, 1926 in Krakow, Poland. In 1932, because of anti-Semitism and economic reasons, they migrated to Berlin, which was a progressive city.
He was about 8 years old when his family escaped Berlin, Germany, just after Kristallnacht.
Talking about this place, it's really hard to figure out where to begin. This place always had potential, but it was never built, so it's pretty much a pile of rocks. You would go in here, there was no lights. You felt like you were going to get mugged, literally, if you walked through here at night. These stairs were not here. Every little stone we had to work on. This whole plaza was not here. This whole roadway wasn't here.
The importance in the historic place as Mount Zion is a very special place for the entire world, and especially for the Jewish people.
The Christians, they had the room of Last Supper, and they would come here in droves. But there were no Jews coming here, really. Nothing was attracting the Jews to what is considered, a very holy place. The 10 Commandments were 22 years on Mount Zion, sat here while the temple was being built. The Jews had 3 holy places: Har HaBayit, the Temple Mount and the western wall of it, the city of David, Ir David, and here, Mount Zion.
Mount Zion somehow was left on the side for many, many, many years. And thank God, in the last 13 years, through the help of the Schlussel family, there has been a tremendous constructing and building Mount Zion in a proper way for the heart of the Jewish people.
We just started building here, but one thing that I always wanted to do was build at a higher standard than what antiquities and all these groups consider to be the standard.
By fixing infrastructure and make it beautiful and accessible for Jewish youth and the general public, brought another mass of the Jewish people here.
On the floor, I decided I want to have the Magen David. We did over 1,000 cuts of stone. There's about 20 some of them around the place. It kind of symbolizes the return of the Jewish people here in a big way.
The point is, they suddenly touch their heritage. They can touch, they can feel, they can walk around it and connect to the past, and that gives them strength in the future.
You see the symbolism, the Magen David, the music of King David. They know they're in a Jewish place. In 1948, they fought for this area. This was all bombed out. This whole wall did not exist. None of it. And the room on top was blown apart. All this was wiped out. This was a room, of course, and it got hit by some missiles. We're dedicating this room to a soldier who fought in 1948 and to his wife. We're trying to heal this place, restore it back to Jewish people after the struggle that they've had for it. And this is real part of the struggle. Missiles hit this room. And all this is brand new. And we're going to go now up into the room that didn't exist. And you'll see what we did to fix it. What we're really looking to do is bring the Jewish people back to Mount Zion. So we turn where nobody could sleep into a facility that you've slept at night, sometimes 350, 400 people a night can sleep here. This floor we put in. It had rubble to the second floor. See where the railings are? It was completely filled here, and we lowered the floor and created these rooms. Each room is a whole complete story. This was a intense room. It took us 1.5 years to figure out.
Everything is handmade.
Everything. Here you see, I dedicated this one to my son David. See the guitar on the sink? You just do these little things. Just little touches, little alcoves. They come in, they feel, where in Israel can you feel such space, right? They're big, they hold a lot of people. Every one of them was a challenge. Maybe 60 rooms?
60 rooms altogether.
Every room is unique. All the infrastructure, from getting water to the building, to electric, to sewage, went through all the city regulation, made it a viable building. The whole concept of the rooms, when you see them, if we did what they call zugim, if we made it all for couples, the place could make real money. But we put in kids and we put in groups, and
education.
We charge them like nothing. I know, like a few dollars a night, a few shekels, and it changes their life. You'll see when you sleep here. You'll always remember sleeping on Mount Zion. And they said this was their best sleeping experience that they've had in the military, ever. We've had groups that Trump or Putin is in town, they get bounced from King David, and they've come here and they say this is a better experience than staying at the King David Hotel. This is what we want for our groups, for the Jewish youth to experience.
This is probably the biggest center of education, definitely in Jerusalem, maybe in Israel as far as education. Every weekend we have here about almost 300 college students or army personnel, soldiers that come here and get educated and be part of Jerusalem and part of Mount Zion's heritage.
King David's Palace is a Jewish education center located in the heart of Jerusalem on Mount Zion, surrounding King David's tombs. Tens of thousands of students have passed through its gates.
If you multiply that by the year, it comes out maybe 30 or 40,000 students and army personnel coming here through a year. And they're doing it for the last 12 years, just accumulate the numbers. The last 12 years, I made a cheshbon, maybe 150,000 people passed through here. Slept here.
Over
150,000 people slept here in the last 12 years. Can you imagine?
Tonight we're going to have 90 soldiers in here. They're going to sleep in this room. They're going to come now after a week of soldiering, and they're going to come fresh into Shabbat. And they're going to love it. You see when they come in, they go crazy. None of this stuff wasn't here. No windows, no nothing. Now we're ready for the groups. One of the best parts of this place is the roof. So we have groups come up on the roof and hang out, sing, do lectures, bond with each other. So we allow groups to really experience themselves here. The room we're in right now, right over here is King David's tomb, and often there'd be weddings there. And I'd see the bride on the side of the wedding, like getting ready. They'd have makeup behind, like somebody holding a jacket or something. And it made no sense to me that a bride on her wedding night or wedding day would have to be put in such an awkward position. So I decided to build this room, not only to be a room that the bride could come in and change and get herself ready with her bridesmaids and her family, but to also be a yichud room for the time period after they get married, that they sit with her husband, and also a room that thereafter they could be in.
And enjoy Mount Zion on the first day of starting a Jewish life. That's a symbol of a start of a new Jewish life for the Jewish people here in Mount Zion.
I asked a woman, what do you really need when you have when all the women are here blowing their hair, everything you need, because that's what this corner's about. They said, we never have enough outlets. So we put in all over the place. There, one, there, another, 2 sets. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 outlets within a meter.
Well, being in this room that is dedicated to me for married couples is very humbling and just makes me very emotional, and I think it'll be a great way for a couple to start out.
I just didn't want an average room. I wanted to have the nicest yichus room in the Jewish world. And frankly, in the world, because we're in Jerusalem, it should be the nicest in the world. Probably 1,000 years this room wasn't touched. And we completely redid it. It's a wonderful room. It has a bathroom, tremendous shower with great water pressure, has a kitchenette, and it's just a really great living space in the middle of everything.
Right besides here we have a place which is called Eichal David, the Hall of King David. There we make weddings and we make music events and lectures, etc. And a lot of Jewish culture events here in Mount Zion.
This room, we took out over 150 truckloads of debris before we could get to the bottom of this thing. We had to uncover the room. It was crazy. And the way we did it, in the middle of the night, we knock it out, completely fix the room. If you look at the ceiling work, you look at the Magen David, this has turned into one of the high-level meeting rooms. But if you see the chairs, this is constantly being used, in and out, in and out. During the holiday times, we have lectures here, non-stop about the holidays and things of that nature. Today, it's a place that 200 people can have a meal. Also, it's a stage, and all the acoustics were changed in this room, and the lighting. Everybody's been here. Netanyahu came 2 months ago to visit for half an hour. He was here 2.5 hours. He couldn't believe this place. Him and his wife Sarah were here, and they just flipped out. A lot of Zionistic activity happens here. Just the other night, we had Yom HaShoah event here.
Almost 1,000 people. Maybe 700 soldiers came here.
And right on the other side of this wall is King David's tomb, and this Aron is the closest to it. The Jewish people have returned to Mount Zion.
We have a museum that shaped the Holocaust here in Mount Zion.
There's things in here that don't exist in Yad Vashem or any of those places. This place, the survivors, they put up plaques. It's a very emotional place. This is built by survivors.
What you see here are plaques that are very unique, besides it was put by the survivors themselves right after the war. This is the first place in the world, right after the war, there was a memorial place for the Holocaust. And some of the plaques, the survivors made a decision, what is the day of the Yortzeit of the city? That most of the Jews got murdered that day. And that's what the day of the Yortzeit. They come here, like we see inside now, a group, that they come here in that day and they mourn and pray for those souls.
Now, we designated a beautiful project right across King David's tomb in the center, and we call it Oel HaMelachim, the tent of the kings, because tent represents the tent of Abraham.
Abraham symbolized chesed, which also is having kindness and also being very giving, welcoming of people.
The tent of Abraham had 4 doors from all different sides of the world, that any person that passes by can come in and enjoy the host of Abraham and connect to his understanding of Hashem and bringing God to every person around the world.
So like Abraham's tent, we have different doorways from all directions. So this is the doorway to the east. There's 18 domes, like you see this dome here. There's 18 of them in here.
So some of the quotes about Sam from his former colleagues, they described him as, Sam was much more than just a highly capable individual in his work. He was a remarkable man, a dear friend, who was blessed with an abundance of warmth, understanding, generosity, good humor, and gentle nature.
He was a very kind person. And I think that came basically from his youth, and he saw all the wickedness and evil and unkind acts that occurred. So my wish for this place, and the way it's constructed, is for it to be a place of kindness, a place of simcha, a place where 2 friends could come and sit, where somebody can invite somebody else. So it's built in that manner.
So it is especially appropriate that we celebrate for him a dedication of this beautiful, sacred place of Jewish learning in our spiritual home, Jerusalem.
we were trying to count up mezuzahs. So after the rabbi speaks, we're going to put up some mezuzahs. But there's 6 outside doors. There's from all directions, north, east, south, and west. And there's actually a need for 24 mezuzahs. I also want to thank the rabbi. Can't build without the rabbi. Thank you for letting me build such things.
Anyone that knows Steve, he's an entrepreneur, he's a starter, he's a beginner. He knows how to carve and build the foundations. It's unbelievable passion. I never saw such a thing in my life. My wife always tells me she never saw such a thing, that a donor runs after the person day and night to perfect the donation, and it's something unbelievable. It's mamish, a real Avraham Avinu.
I feel for the Jewish people. I feel for my own continuity of family.
In my heart, you, Steve, to me, is like you, my father. He tried very hard during the 50 years to build, but in the last 10 or 12 years, when Kalman Steve came in here, and I listened carefully to the words of my father, must be that Steven Schlussel has a great merit, to have the merit to build this place. Because my father brought many wealthy people, many type of people, to try to build Mount Zion. They didn't have the merit. He knows here in Mountain every little screw that is being done. His heart is here. He knows every little details, what's going on and what stage of work when we did this place, where we holding. And I think that's the greatness of Steve. I think that's the reason he had the merit to build this special place for the Jewish people.
I have no real terms. Just pay for things I think are important, and that's it. I don't really seek out anybody or organize or think about boards. Other people have all these plans, but they never execute. I'm into facts on the ground and executing.
I want to give something, a present from my heart. This picture, it's a picture about this area. It's not the only area that they fixed, but this is really my vision from my heart. To you, Karen and Steve, I really feel that he's like my father. Because, it's hard for me to speak, but he's like Avraham Avinu. That's the truth. And to me, you have the honor to be adjacent to my father in the world. There's no words for me to say, just to give you a blessing. As your sister said, there's no greater blessing that your children will continue the same good deeds that you are doing. And I'm sure all this comes from your father, was his memory, that he had those characters, as your sister said. It didn't come from nowhere.
Our Father is honored by the studying of books and learning that will take place in this sacred space. So today isn't so much just about this wonderful room as it is about studying its books and the learning that will happen here. What better way to perpetuate our Father's memory than to study in this hall the Torah? Here, Sam Schlussel enjoys eternal life side by side with those who will study the Torah and its sacred books.
Ki mitzion tetzei Torah. From Zion comes Torah. This is a key theme that we're restoring here on the mountain.
So Steve, creating this place of study and learning was your idea, and you and Karen are its primary benefactors, and we thank you on behalf of our family. This beautiful tent of kings will carry on our father's name, the Schlussel name, and what a wonderful tribute you are paying to our father. So yes, Dad, smiling down on your family, may we, your 3 children, your 8 grandchildren, your 8 great-grandchildren, and your nieces and nephews and others who are here today, be blessed to be like unto you, to carry on your values of caring and commitment to family, friends, our Jewish people, and the traditions to all people of goodwill. Shalom.